All right, let's talk about something that can feel, well, a little chaotic: research. But don't worry. Today we're going to give you a clear, step-by-step plan that takes you from that feeling of chaos right to clarity. Let's get into it.
You know the feeling, right? You've got your topic, you've got your deadline, you sit down, you type something into a search bar, and bam! You're hit with this absolute tidal wave of information. It's overwhelming, it's confusing, and honestly, it happens to everyone.
And let's be honest, this is how most of us start out, like a hunter-gatherer. We're just randomly clicking links, grabbing little bits of info here and there, and kind of hoping we stumble across something good. It's a way to start for sure, but it's also super inefficient and often really frustrating. But the good news is there is a much better way.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll cover how to plan your search. Then we'll get into the specific tools and techniques you can use. After that, a super important step, evaluating your sources. And finally, we'll see how this whole process really levels you up from novice to expert.
Okay, first things first, planning your search. You wouldn't build a house without a blueprint, right? Well, same goes for research. This first step, the strategic planning, is honestly the key to everything else.
So a classic first question is, where do I even start looking? Books or articles? Well, it's pretty simple. If you need a big picture overview of a topic or some historical background, books are your best friend. But if you're working on something really current or you need the absolute latest research, you're going to want to dive into articles.
Now, this last point here is so important. We're all programmed to just ask Google a full question, but academic databases, they don't really work that way. You have to learn to speak their language, and that language is keywords. You've got to pull out the main concepts from your topic, think of some synonyms, and use those as the keys to unlock all the good information.
All right, so we have our plan. Now it's time to open up the toolbox and look at the practical things that'll help you put that plan into action.
And the first tool we're going to talk about is this fantastic acronym, SKILL. This is your secret weapon against random searching. It's a 5-step method that's designed to make your whole process systematic, efficient, and just way more effective.
So let's break it down real quick. First, you summarize, basically prove to yourself you actually get the topic. Then, you select your keywords, just like we talked about. Third, you identify synonyms, which gives you more options. Fourth, you link them all together. And finally, you locate your results and, you guessed it, evaluate them. Simple, right? That's skill.
And that fourth step, linking, this is exactly what it looks like in practice. Using AND tells the database you need both of these terms in your results, so it really narrows things down. Using OR broadens your search, telling it you want results that mention either of those terms. It's a simple trick, but it gives you so much control.
You know, here's a good way to think about it. Without a system, information is just this direct, unfiltered flood coming at you. But tools like a good database or a library catalog, they act as a filter. They add a crucial layer of organization that helps you find that one little needle in the giant, ever-growing haystack of information.
Okay, finding the information is only half the job. Now you have to become your own quality control filter. Let's talk about how you can actually look at a source and know if it's reliable and worth your time.
The very first question you should always ask is, who wrote this? Who is this person? Who is this organization? Their identity, or, lack of one, is the first major clue you'll get about whether you can trust the source.
And this table gives you a really clear spectrum. Way over on one side, you have sources with no author listed at all. That's a huge red flag. In the middle, you've got authors whose qualifications you can actually look up and check. And then at the top, the most reliable ends, an author that an expert you trust, like your professor, has already recommended. That's gold.
All right, next question. Why does this information even exist in the first place? Is it trying to inform you, persuade you, or maybe even sell you something? Figuring out the motivation behind a source is the key to spotting any potential bias.
And just look at the difference here. The least reliable sources are often pushing a product or a really one-sided argument. But the most reliable ones, their purpose is totally different. They're all about presenting properly peer-reviewed research and having a thoughtful, evidence-based discussion.
And finally, the third big check you have to do. Is it accurate? Is what they're saying actually correct? Can you verify these claims? This is where you really have to put on your detective hat.
And here are the dead giveaways. Unreliable sources are often sloppy. They might have spelling errors or, and this is a big one, no reference list at all to back up what they're saying. But highly accurate sources, they'll have facts supported by evidence, in-text citations, a full bibliography, the whole
So, let's bring this all home. When you follow this kind of process, it doesn't just get you better results, it actually transforms your whole approach to research.
You started out as that hunter-gatherer, just wandering around and exploring. But now, you've leveled up. You've become an early thinker. You have a directed, systematic plan. You're not just hoping to find information anymore. You're strategically seeking it out and deciding for yourself if it's relevant and useful.
And look, if there is one thing you take away from all of this, I hope it's this quote right here. That time you spend planning isn't a wasted step before the real work. It is the single most important investment you can make to guarantee the quality of your research.
Because really, that's what this is all about. Having a system isn't just about getting a better grade. It's about building your own confidence, knowing that you have the skills to tackle any topic and find information you can actually trust.
So, that next project is just around the corner. The choice is yours. Are you going to wander around hoping to get lucky? Or are you going to use your blueprint, your tools, and your critical eye to search like an expert? The power, my friends, is in the plan.